One example of how I set goals is by using the SMART Goal Guide. The SMART Goal Guide is setting specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound goals. For example, when I was a senior banker, I set a goal of transitioning or being promoted into a leadership role within 2 years. To attain that goal, I broke it down into smaller, more achievable goals. For example, to be promoted as a senior banker, it was important to be a top performing senior banker. To be top performing, it was important to exceed my performance metrics. Being able to create a path to your goal makes it easier to attain it when you are breaking it down into smaller, more digestible pieces. Other things that have helped me reach my goals in the past is by reaching out to my peers. I have never been afraid to say that I need help when I am learning something new or navigating a different career path. I have leveraged mentors in the past to guide me and learn from their experiences of how they've landed leadership roles. So by using the SMART Goal Guide, I am able to set goals for myself and achieve them. An example of how I handled a challenge and overcame it is from when I recently got promoted from senior banker to financial center assistant manager. The location I was transferred to during my promotion was a location that was considered a chronic underperformer for client experience. The company has an expectation for client experience of at least 90% satisfaction. The way the company measures client experience is by sending out surveys to our clients after their visit. The surveys typically use a scale of 1 to 10 to grade their experience with a particular team member, associate, or staff in total. When I transferred to this location, the overall client experience was at 82%. So to be able to kind of understand the challenges, I first began by reading feedback from the clients. Our clients were leaving comments on surveys explaining how they felt that their team at that location was unwilling to help, or they didn't seem fully knowledgeable in the process, or they've had to return multiple times to complete a task that was supposed to be completed on the first day. So to find the root cause of the problems, I began by doing some teammate observations during client interactions. I began by observing the tellers on how they interact with clients, and I also spent some time sitting down with our bankers, seeing how they interact with clients while they're opening accounts or doing account maintenance. On the teller line, I noticed that teammates typically weren't using the clients' names when they were assisting them. I also observed that teammates weren't taking the time to create a personal connection when helping our clients. On the teller line, it appeared that they were just becoming transactional. The area where the financial center is located is an affluent area surrounded by a few retirement homes and a different type of clientele than the inner city closer to the university. The clients in the area are used to certain common courtesies when it comes to client experience, especially when handling their finances. After my observations, I shared my findings with the financial center manager. Together, we were able to create an action plan for a team to help turn around our client experience. Part of the action plan, one of the things that we implemented was on the teller line, using the client's name a minimum of 3 times during the interaction. This lets the client know that we are taking the time to get to know them, use their name, and that their time is important and valuable to us. Another expectation was to thank the client for their business at the end of each transaction. For the bankers, the expectation was to wait for their appointment in the lobby. So for example, if a banker had an appointment that they knew was coming in at 10:30, the expectation was to be in the lobby between 10:20 and 10:30 so they can greet their client as soon as they come through the door. Upon greeting their client, the expectation was to walk them over to their desk, pull out the chair for them, and to not have a seat until the client sits first. These are small common courtesies that can really change a client's perspective on how they're being treated within a financial center. These common courtesies can be the difference between a score of an 8 out of 10 on a survey and a 9 out of 10 on the survey. At first, our teammates expressed that these gestures felt a little awkward and they didn't seem natural. So to help our team become comfortable with our new initiatives to change and turn around client experience, we used our morning huddles as a time to role play with each other and practice doing these courtesies with each other, so that way the more we do it, the more it becomes natural and the more comfortable we feel during our interactions. The more our team practiced, they just continued to carry it on throughout the day, and our clients noticed. So after implementing these changes, we were able to improve our overall client satisfaction to above 90 for 3 out of 4 quarters of last year's performance. So with that, we were able to turn around client experience by simply implementing small common courtesies that really changed the service from a level 8 to a 9 and a 10. As an assistant manager at a financial center, there are several times where I've had to make decisions that weren't so popular amongst the team. An example of that time is when we had to change how we do account review. For example, at the end of each day, as an assistant manager, I am responsible of overseeing our day-to-day operations, ensuring that we are regulatory compliant and that everything has been done properly. Part of that is conducting account review. I had been noticing that at the end of each day, when I was conducting account review, trust accounts were constantly being missed. For example, a trust account needs to have a grantor and a successor, trustee. I noticed our teammates were constantly forgetting to fill out the form where it shows who is a grantor and who is a successor trustee. The risk is we are not being compliant with listing the mandated clients correctly on the forms, and it was also impacting our client experience because our clients would have to return the next day to fill out the proper forms. So in order to prevent falling out of compliance and to prevent impacting our client experience, I implemented a new process for account review. The process was to bring me the documents while the client was still in the financial center. That way, if we needed to make corrections, the client was still in the center and we could make the corrections in a timely fashion. This would prevent the client from having to return in the future to make these corrections. At first, our teammates felt that this takes a little too much time when our clients are already in a rush to get to their next thing in their day. I understood that it does take an extra moment to review the documents while the clients are here, but I explained the risk and the client benefit of doing it in the moment and ensuring things are done correctly the first time. And also to help support my teammates with the common small errors that we were missing, we extended an additional training with a financial advisor who was able to explain to our teammates the biggest differences between grantors, successor trustees, and all the nuances of trust accounts. So after providing our teammates with training and implementing the new account process, we were able to show them the client benefit and how it helps us manage risk a little bit better. After a couple weeks of implementing these processes, our teammates saw that there was less corrections to make the next day, and our clients did not have to come back to take care of business another day.